The alien ships appeared on a Tuesday morning, hanging silently over every major city on Earth, like dark metal clouds. Amy Winters was making coffee in her small apartment when the news broke. She watched the screen as alien representatives appeared, declaring themselves the Tazari, a powerful race who had come to claim Earth as their newest colony. The Tazari were tall, elegant beings with 6 limbs and iridescent skin that shifted colors with their emotions. Their commander was a female named Zindra, who spoke with cold authority as she informed humans they had 24 hours to surrender or face consequences. Amy spilled her coffee as she stared at the screen. The aliens looked like a mix between praying mantis and jellyfish, with long, graceful limbs and translucent skin that pulsed with light. Their eyes were large, multifaceted orbs that seemed to see everything at once. She quickly called her old friend, Beth Morgan, who worked at NASA. Beth answered, looking frantic. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "They are everywhere, Amy. Not just here, all over the world. The same message in every language. Our satellites show at least 50 motherships in orbit and hundreds of smaller craft." Amy felt her military training kick in. She had served 6 years as an engineer in the Army, developing defensive technologies before joining the private sector. Her mind was already analyzing what she knew about the visitors. The president addressed the nation an hour later, calling for calm as world governments established contact with the aliens. The Tazari ambassador, a female called Nilvara, demanded Earth surrender all military control and accept Tazari rule. She explained their empire spanned 12 star systems, and Earth was simply the next in line. That night, Amy could not sleep. She kept thinking about a project she had worked on 3 years ago, an experimental energy shield designed to deflect high-energy weapons. The project had been shelved due to power requirements, but with some modifications, she called her former commanding officer, Colonel Linda Hayes, at 4 in the morning. "Linda, I think I have something that might help us." The colonel listened as Amy explained her idea to modify the shield technology. The Tazari ships emitted a specific energy signature that might be used against them. If they could capture and redirect that energy. When the 24 hours ended, the Tazari showed they were serious. 3 mid-sized cities were bombed as a demonstration. Cincinnati, Portland, and Manchester, England were hit with precision strikes that leveled downtown areas. The death toll reached into the thousands. World leaders scrambled. Some called for immediate surrender. Others demanded military action. The Chinese launched missiles at the ship over Beijing, but they disappeared in flashes of light before reaching their target. The Tazari responded by destroying 3 more cities. Amy worked frantically with a team of engineers at a secret facility in Colorado. The president had authorized emergency powers activating all former military scientists. Amy's shield concept was one of 12 projects given top priority. Beth called with news from NASA. Their deep space telescope had captured images of the Tazari fleet before arrival. The aliens had been watching Earth for decades, studying, learning, perhaps even infiltrating. As the 3rd day of the invasion began, the Tazari commander Zindra issued new demands. Humans would surrender all nuclear weapons, establish alien governance centers in major cities, and provide 1 million people for labor on Tazari colony worlds. They had 12 hours to comply. The underground facility where Amy worked buzzed with desperate activity. Her team had created a working prototype of the shield, but it could only protect a small area. The power requirements were still too high for large-scale deployment. Then Olivia Foster, a quiet physicist who had barely spoken since arriving, made a suggestion. What if we use their own energy against them? The Tazari ships emit that strange radiation. What if we could capture it, amplify it, and turn it back on them? Amy stared at Olivia for a long moment before grabbing her in a tight hug. "That might work," she said, already running calculations. In her head, "We could use their weapons' energy to power our shields." Colonel Hayes arranged a video call with military leaders from allied nations. The Joint Chiefs listened as Amy explained the modified shield concept. They would need to deploy receptor nodes around strategic locations. Each node would capture Tazari weapon energy, store it, and redirect it to the shield network. The plan was risky. It required the aliens to fire first, but if it worked, each attack would make their defenses stronger. General Mary Calloway, head of Strategic Command, authorized immediate production of the receptor nodes. 6 hours before the Tazari deadline, Amy received clearance to test the prototype. A captured alien weapon taken from a scout ship shot down over Arizona would provide the energy source. In a remote bunker, the team watched as the alien weapon fired at the shield. For a terrible moment, nothing happened. The energy beam struck the receptor and seemed to pass through. Then suddenly the shield flared to life, glowing with captured power. The beam reflected back, destroying the testing apparatus. It works. Amy breathed, hardly believing what she saw. It actually works. As the Tazari deadline approached, Earth prepared for war. The shields would not be ready in time to protect everything. Colonel Hayes made the difficult decision to prioritize military installations and government centers. Civilian populations would be evacuated where possible. Amy watched the clock tick down, knowing millions of lives hung in the balance. The first receptor nodes were being installed in Washington, D.C., New York, London, and other major cities, but would they be enough? The Tazari deadline expired. The Tazari deadline expired. Without warning, alien ships positioned themselves over military installations worldwide. Their weapons charged, creating an eerie purple glow visible from the ground. General Carla Reeves watched from the hidden command center beneath the Rocky Mountains. Her face showed no emotion as she gave the order. Activate Artemis. Across the globe, military personnel held their breath. Artemis was the code name for America's top-secret orbital defense platform, a project so classified that even most of the government did not know it existed. The single satellite armed with experimental technology represented Earth's best hope. As the Tazari prepared to fire, Carla activated the system. The weapon discharged a concentrated beam of energy, striking the command ship over Washington, D.C. The alien shields flared but held. The attack, however, caused the Tazari to pause on screens worldwide. Commander Zindra appeared, her skin flashing angry red. Do not resist your primitive weapons. Cannot harm our ships. We will now demonstrate true power. Amy watched the broadcast from her bunker. She knew what would come next. The Tazari would retaliate with their gravitational weapon capable of crushing entire cities. She checked the status of the shield network. Only 3 cities had functional receptors: Washington, London, and Beijing. The others were not ready. The aliens fired. The gravitational weapon distorted the air itself, creating visible ripples as it descended toward Washington, D.C. Amy held her breath, watching the energy readings on her screen. The receptor nodes glowed bright as they absorbed the massive energy pulse. For one terrible moment, the shield wavered, looking like it might collapse. Then it stabilized, glowing brighter than before. The attack had been deflected. The nodes had captured enough energy to power the entire eastern seaboard shield. Network Zindra could not understand what had happened. The humans had somehow blocked their most powerful weapon. A weapon that had destroyed civilizations more advanced than Earth. The alien commander hissed orders to her lieutenants, demanding explanations. In Colorado, Amy shouted with triumph. Her team embraced each other, some crying with relief. The shield had worked, better than they had dared hope. Now they needed to expand the network. Before the Tazari tried again, Olivia already had teams working to manufacture more receptor nodes. Their design had been simplified, allowing for rapid production. Amy contacted Colonel Hayes with the good news. We can protect more cities, she explained. We just need time. But time was something they might not have. The Tazari adjusted their strategy. Instead of bombing from orbit, they deployed ground troops, thousands of alien soldiers, mostly female, as Tazari society was matriarchal, descended on major cities. They carried weapons that could disintegrate matter on contact. In Chicago, police officer Kelly Martinez watched in horror as the aliens marched down Michigan Avenue, their 6 limbs moving in perfect synchronization. Their weapons fired with precision, turning cars, buildings, and unfortunately, people to dust. Kelly took cover in a subway station along with dozens of civilians. She had been a cop for 8 years and had seen her share of violence, but nothing like this. She noticed something strange about the aliens as they entered the underground space. They seemed to struggle with their breathing. Their movements became less coordinated. Kelly called her Friend Diane Wu, a chemist at the university. These things are having trouble breathing down here, she whispered into her phone. Something about the air, maybe. Diane thought quickly. Aliens would have evolved in a different atmosphere. Perhaps Earth's air was not quite right for them. She asked about their symptoms. Kelly described the labored movements, the way the aliens kept adjusting devices on their suits. Nitrogen, Diane realized suddenly. They need more nitrogen than our atmosphere provides. They have supplemental breathing equipment. This information spread quickly through resistance channels. Scientists confirmed the Tazari required a higher concentration of nitrogen to function optimally on Earth. Without their breathing apparatus, they would weaken and eventually suffocate. Kelly organized teams to target the aliens' breathing equipment. Using hunting rifles from rooftops, resistance fighters shot at the tanks attached to Tazari combat suits. The effect was immediate. Without their nitrogen supplements, the aliens retreated to their ships. Amy received this information at the Colorado facility. The Tazari weakness gave them another advantage, but they needed to act quickly before the aliens adapted. She worked with chemical engineers to develop compounds that would bind to nitrogen, making it temporarily unavailable in the air. Agricultural planes were modified to spray the compounds near alien ground forces. The substance was harmless to humans, but created a nitrogen-poor zone around the Tazari. The alien troops found themselves gasping for breath, their movements becoming sluggish and uncoordinated. While ground forces dealt with the invasion, Carla Reeves continued analyzing data from the orbital strike. She identified a weakness in Tazari shield harmonics. Their defenses operated on a specific frequency. If multiple weapons fired at precisely calibrated offsets, they might create a destructive interference pattern. She contacted military bases worldwide that still had functioning weapon systems. They would need to coordinate a simultaneous attack, targeting all ships with the specific frequency pattern. Amy worked to integrate this information into their defensive strategy. The receptor nodes could be modified to not just capture energy, but to emit it back at the precise frequencies needed to disrupt alien shields. The fourth day of invasion saw a major counteroffensive. Military forces worldwide fired on the Tazari ships using Carla's frequency pattern. The alien shields flickered as the carefully timed attacks created interference. The receptor nodes amplified the effect, sending captured energy back at the precise moment needed. 3 Tazari ships crashed to Earth, 1 in the Sahara, 1 in the Pacific Ocean, and 1 in rural Montana. The alien vessels were quickly secured by military forces. Scientists and engineers swarmed the crash sites, gathering technology and information. Amy received alien communication devices recovered from the Montana crash site. By reverse engineering the technology, she created a jamming system that could disrupt Tazari communications. The alien forces suddenly found themselves unable to coordinate. Attack Zindra watched in disbelief as her invasion faltered. Her skin had paled to ashen gray as reports came in of ships lost, troops retreating, and shields failing. She had underestimated these humans. Their technology was primitive, but they adapted with remarkable speed. The Tazari commander faced a difficult decision: continue the attack and risk losing more ships and troops, or withdraw and face disgrace in the Empire. Her second-in-command, Maris, urged caution. These humans are not like the others, she said. They fight differently. They learn. They adapt. Perhaps we should consider negotiation. Zindra dismissed Maris' suggestion with a violent gesture. Her pride would not allow retreat. The Tazari had never failed to conquer a world. They would not fail now. She ordered their remaining ships to move into a defensive formation around the War main command vessel on Earth. The tide was turning. Kelly Martinez had become the face of the ground resistance. Her tactics for disabling Tazari troops had spread worldwide. Ordinary citizens armed with whatever weapons they could find targeted the aliens' breathing apparatus. The invaders found themselves pushed back into defensive positions. Amy continued her work on the shield technology. Each alien attack provided more energy to capture and redirect. The network now protected most major cities in North America, Europe, and Asia. She worked with Olivia to develop a new application, a portable shield generator that could be carried by ground forces. Carla Reeves coordinated the military response. Her strategy of targeting Tazari shield harmonics had proven effective, but the aliens were adapting. Changing their shield frequencies to counter the attacks, she needed something more, a way to overcome their defenses completely. The answer came from an unexpected source. Beth Morgan at NASA had been studying the crashed ship's power systems. The Tazari used a quantum resonance drive that created enormous energy, but had one critical weakness. It could be overloaded by its own feedback loop. Beth contacted Amy with her discovery. If we can get their engines to create a feedback loop, they will overload. Their own power systems will destroy them from within. Amy immediately saw the potential. She worked with Beth to design a device that could trigger the resonance cascade. A small probe fired into the ship's engine intake would cause the reaction. The difficult part would be getting close enough to deploy it. The fifth day of invasion began with a new Tazari attack. They had adjusted their strategy, targeting power plants and water treatment facilities. Their goal was clear: make Earth uninhabitable for humans while preserving the planet for colonization. Amy watched the attacks from the command center. The shield network was holding, but power reserves were dropping. They could not sustain defense indefinitely. They needed to take the offensive. The plan came together quickly. Carla would coordinate a major attack on the Tazari command ship, using all remaining military assets. This would draw their attention and defensive resources. Meanwhile, a small team would approach from below in a stealth aircraft to deploy Beth's resonance device. Kelly volunteered to lead the ground team. Her experience fighting the aliens had made her the natural choice. She selected 5 others, all with combat experience. They would fly a modified stealth bomber, equipped with the resonance probe. The attack began at dawn. Military bases worldwide fired on the Tazari command ship, forcing it to focus its shields in one direction. Fighter jets launched from aircraft carriers, providing additional distraction. The aliens responded as expected, concentrating their defensive systems to counter the assault. Kelly and her team approached from below, flying so low they nearly skimmed the ocean. Their aircraft, specially modified with technology derived from the crashed alien ships, was invisible to Tazari sensors. They reached the position directly beneath the command ship. Now, Kelly said to her pilot. The aircraft shot upward, accelerating toward the massive ship hanging in the sky above Washington, D.C. The Tazari were completely focused on the military attack. They did not detect the small craft approaching from below. Kelly deployed the resonance probe. It attached to the ship's engine intake and immediately began its work, creating a cascade effect in the quantum drive. The team pulled away quickly as energy readings from the alien vessel spiked. On the command ship, alarms blared. Zindra demanded explanations as system after system began to fail. The quantum drive was overloading, creating a feedback loop that could not be stopped. Maris ordered an emergency evacuation, but it was too late. The Tazari command ship exploded in a blinding flash of light. The shockwave damaged nearby alien vessels, knocking out their control systems. Without central command, the invasion force fell into disarray. Amy watched from the ground as the explosion lit up the sky. The shield network captured the enormous energy release, powering all systems to maximum capacity. For the first time since the invasion began, Earth had the upper hand. As the 6th day dawned, Tazari ships began to retreat, pulling back from cities, moving into higher orbits. Some attempted to flee the solar system, but were intercepted by Earth's newly empowered defense systems. Carla had deployed all available resources to prevent escape. She wanted prisoners and intact ships for study. The Tazari second in command. Maris took control of the remaining forces. With Zindra gone, she implemented her own strategy: survival. She opened communications with Earth governments requesting ceasefire and negotiations in a secure facility in Switzerland. Representatives from world governments met with Maris and other Tazari leaders. The alien skin colors were muted, showing what humans now recognized as submission and fear. Maris spoke her translator, converting her clicks and whistles to human language. We request safe passage for our remaining ships. We will leave your world and never return. Dr. Patricia Coleman, The chief human negotiator shook her head. "That is not acceptable," she said. "Your people attacked Earth without provocation. You destroyed cities, killed thousands. We require more than your departure." The negotiations were tense. Humans demanded reparations in the form of technology transfer, medical energy propulsion communications. The Tezari were reluctant, but their position was weak. Their fleet was damaged, their commander dead. Myris knew they had no choice on. The seventh day, the Tezari Empire officially surrendered to Earth. The terms included immediate withdrawal of all forces technology transfer and a non-aggression pact. The aliens would provide technical experts to help humans understand and implement their advanced science. Amy was among those selected to work directly with Tezari scientists. She found them surprisingly cooperative now that the fighting had ended. The aliens seemed almost relieved, as if the invasion had been an obligation rather than a choice. One Tezari scientist named Lirath explained, "Our empire expands because it must. Our resources dwindle. Our population grows. We seek new worlds, but your world is different. Your people fought in ways we did not expect." Emi learned that the Tezari society was highly structured with rigid hierarchies. Commanders like Zindra were expected to conquer or die trying. Failure was not an option. The aliens had never encountered a species that adapted so quickly to their tactics. The technology transfer began immediately. Medical devices that could cure most human diseases, energy systems that would end dependence on fossil fuels, communication technology that would revolutionize how humans interacted with each other. Kelly Martinez was honored for her role in defeating the command ship. She was appointed to lead a new international security force designed to protect Earth from future threats. Her experience fighting the aliens made her invaluable in training others. Carla Reeves oversaw the integration of Tezari technology into Earth's defense systems. The orbital platform was expanded with alien components, creating a shield network that could protect the entire planet. The general made certain humanity would never be caught unprepared again. 1 month after the invasion, Earth was transformed. Nations that had fought each other for centuries now worked together, united by the common experience of alien attack. The technology provided by the Tezari accelerated human development by decades, perhaps centuries. Amy continued her work with alien scientists developing new applications for their technology. The shield network had been expanded to cover the entire planet, powered by quantum generators based on Tezari designs. Her small apartment was now a distant memory. She lived at the research facility working 18-hour days. Beth Morgan led the space development program incorporating alien propulsion systems into human spacecraft. The first vessel equipped with Tezari drives reached Mars in hours rather than months. Colonies were planned for the moon Mars, and even the moons of Jupiter. Humanity was reaching for the stars. Kelly trained the new Planetary Defense Force, a multinational team of soldiers and pilots prepared to protect Earth from any threat. Her experience fighting the aliens made her the natural choice to lead this elite group. She insisted on rigorous training, teaching her recruits everything she had learned about Tezari weaknesses in the 3 months since. The invasion ended. Earth had changed in ways few could have imagined. Cities damaged by alien weapons were being rebuilt using advanced materials. The destruction had created an opportunity to implement new designs more efficient, more sustainably. Tezari remaining on Earth as technical advisors observed these developments with interest. Lirath, the scientist working with Amy, commented on human adaptability. "Your species moves quickly," she said, her skin shifting to thoughtful blue. "When we damaged your cities, you did not simply rebuild them. You improved them. When we attacked with our weapons, you did not just defend. You turned our energy against us." Amy smiled as she adjusted the portable shield generator they were developing. The device, now small enough to fit in a backpack, could protect a group of people from almost any weapon. "We had good teachers," she replied. The Tezari scientist made a sound that the translator interpreted as laughter, not by choice. 6 months after the invasion, a new Tezari ship entered Earth's solar system. Carla immediately activated defensive systems, positioning the planetary shield at maximum power. The approaching vessel sent a communication requesting permission to enter orbit. It carried the markings of the Tazari High Council. In the same Swiss facility where the surrender had been negotiated, Earth representatives met with the new visitors. The High Council delegation, led by an ancient female named Vatris, had come to formalize the peace agreement and to observe the human world. Firsthand, Vatris' skin shimmered with colors humans had learned to recognize as curiosity and respect. She addressed the assembly. For 12,000 cycles our empire has expanded, taking worlds, establishing colonies. Never have we encountered a species like yours. You were expected to surrender like all others. Instead, you defeated our forces and turned our own technology against us. Dr. Patricia Coleman spoke for Earth. We protect what is ours. She said simply, we will defend our world from any who threaten it. The High Council delegation toured Earth, visiting cities both destroyed and intact. They observed the rapid rebuilding, the implementation of Tazari technology, the training of the planetary defense. Force Vatris watched it all, her multifaceted eyes missing nothing. At the research facility, she met Amy. The human engineer demonstrated the latest shield technology, incorporating improvements that even the Tazari had not developed. The alien counselor studied Amy with interest. You have improved our designs, she said. This shield configuration is more efficient than our own. How did you accomplish this? Amy explained the modifications her team had made. The Tazari approach was logical, precise, but sometimes constrained by tradition. Humans brought fresh perspectives, seeing possibilities the aliens had overlooked. The combination of Tazari precision and human creativity produced results neither could have achieved alone. Vatris considered this information carefully before departing Earth. She made an unprecedented offer. The Tazari Empire would welcome human representatives not as subjects, but as equals, a cultural and technological exchange that would benefit both species. 1 year after the invasion, Earth had been transformed. The first human delegation prepared to visit the Tazari homeworld, a planet orbiting a distant star. Amy was among those selected to go. Her understanding of alien technology made her invaluable. Kelly would accompany them, ensuring security. Before departing, Amy received a visitor in her lab. Maris, now the permanent Tazari ambassador to Earth, had come to speak with her. The alien studied Amy with those large, multifaceted eyes that still seemed to see everything at once. You must understand, she said, her translator converting the clicks and whistles of her language. We conquered 12 worlds before yours. None resisted effectively. Your people are different. Amy smiled as she continued packing equipment for the journey. We protect what is ours, she said simply. And we learn very quickly. Maris' skin flickered with colors of respect. The Tazari High Council has added a new classification to our interstellar records, she said. Humans are now listed as a protected species. Not because you need protection, but because the galaxy needs protection from you. As the ambassador departed, Amy considered how much had changed in a single year. From making coffee in her apartment to preparing for interstellar travel, from engineer to hero of Earth. The invasion had been terrible, with thousands of lives lost, cities destroyed. But from that destruction had come unity and advancement. Human ingenuity combined with alien technology had created possibilities no one could have imagined. The journey to the Tazari homeworld would take 2 weeks in the modified ship. Earth representatives from science, government, and military would meet with the High Council, establishing formal relations. Kelly had insisted on thorough security measures, but the mood was optimistic. Before boarding the vessel, Amy looked back at Earth, gleaming blue and green against the blackness of space. The shield network was invisible from this distance, but she knew it was there, protecting her world. Should the Tazari or any other alien race attempt invasion again, they would find humanity ready. The ship engines hummed as they prepared for departure. The Tazari drive system created a quantum bubble that would carry them, faster than light, to a distant star. Amy felt a moment of vertigo as the engines engaged. Then stars stretched into lines of light as the vessel accelerated beyond anything humans had achieved before. During the journey, Amy studied Tazari culture, history, art. Their civilization was ancient, with traditions spanning thousands of years. She learned their language, though the translator made this unnecessary. She wanted to understand these beings who had tried to conquer her world. and now sought. Alliance Kelly maintained security, conducting regular drills, keeping the human delegation prepared for any situation. Though relations with the Tazari had improved, she remembered the invasion all too well. Trust would take time. The Tazari homeworld came into view on the 14th day, a planet larger than Earth with 3 small moons orbiting a yellow star. The atmosphere glowed with energy from the planetary shield network, similar to what now protected Earth as they entered orbit. Amy saw the Tazari capital, a vast city of crystalline structures that captured and reflected light in dazzling patterns. The aliens had built their civilization in harmony with their environment, something humans were only beginning to achieve. The human delegation was welcomed with ceremony. The Tazari High Council in full regalia greeted them in a massive chamber whose walls shifted colors with the emotions of those present. It was beautiful and alien, and somehow familiar. Vatris addressed them, her skin glowing with formal welcome patterns. "Humans of Earth," she said, "you have proven yourselves worthy adversaries, and now we hope worthy friends. The galaxy is vast, filled with wonders and dangers. Both our peoples have much to offer each other, much to learn, much to build together." Dr. Patricia Coleman responded for Earth, speaking of hope, cooperation and mutual respect, but also of caution. The memory of invasion remained fresh. She promised friendship but made clear that humans would always defend their world. Amy listened to the speeches, but her mind was already racing with possibilities. The Tazari technology she had studied was just the beginning. Their library contained knowledge spanning thousands of years. Knowledge that could transform human understanding of the universe. Kelly watched the proceedings with professional detachment. Her hand never strayed far from her weapon. Her eyes constantly scanned for threats. Though she participated in the diplomacy, her focus remained protection. She would ensure every human returned safely to Earth.